All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Happy February, everyone. I know it's first day of February already, so we're gliding through winter here. So just want to focus on a few things. The main thing, we're not anticipating any widespread high impact events over the next few days, but we do have a few events or systems that are going to be moving through. So we want to kind of address that. And also, I'm sure a lot of you, especially in North Georgia, have heard the potential for a couple of periods of wintry mix starting tonight, tomorrow, into early tomorrow. So, and then another shot late Saturday night into Sunday. So wanted to address that. Are going to talk about some drought conditions as well, despite the rain that might be coming in over the next week. And overall, as far as temperatures go, we're not looking at any major extremes as far as, extreme cold or extreme warm periods. For the most part, other than a few fronts moving through, dropping us down a little bit below normal at times over the next 7 days, we should be fairly seasonal. Okay, latest conditions. What you see on the map here on the slide is an infrared satellite from about an hour ago. Today we're watching an approaching front from the northwest. There are some low clouds and some very spotty light rain or drizzle across the area today. That should continue through the afternoon. Nothing major. We're not looking at any significant rainfall. And even as we head into tonight, along the front, along and behind the front is where we anticipate maybe a little bit more organized rain. But again, with this first system, this first front coming through tonight into early tomorrow, we don't see a whole lot of moisture or forcing with it. We'll talk about that here in just a second. So that's sort of the latest of what we're seeing, just looking at the satellite and with the surface front that's approaching from the northwest. The next slide, what you're seeing here is just a radar simulation from one of our models. And the high resolution short range models are in pretty good agreement with the next 24 to 36 hours. So I kind of picked this out just to show everybody that where the front's going to be around 10 o'clock this evening should be getting through a good portion of northwest Georgia. And if you notice, the precipitation is actually, a lot of it, the majority of it is behind the front. So out ahead of the front, as we might see in the spring and summertime where we get more like thunderstorm shower activity ahead of the front, this is actually more post-frontal, we call it. So again, we're not looking at any thunder or anything like that with this situation, just some light rain, maybe some occasionally moderate pockets of rainfall behind the front late this evening into the overnight hours. So we got the rain coming in, but then the other story would be the brief possible transition to rain, snow, or all snow mix, or all snow happening overnight tonight. And we think if we are going to see any rain snow mix or light snow, it's going to be north of a Rome to Jasper to Cleveland line. And anywhere south of that, I mean, if you see a couple of wet snowflakes, I'd be surprised. It's just mainly going to be a cold light rain. The next slide will show the progression of the front and the transition to that rain, snow, or all snow situation happening across the far north Georgia counties, Gilmer, Fannin, White County towns. You guys in the higher elevations is where we, could see that brief mix or even a changeover to light snow after about 1 o'clock this morning or tonight, overnight tonight, into the early morning hours tomorrow. As you can see on the left with this whole frame, temperatures at about 1 a.m. when we start to see that transition are going to be in the lower to mid 30s. We think most areas are going to be above freezing. So we could see some light snow or rain snow mix, but the air temperatures are going to be above freezing, at least around this time. So we don't expect any major road impacts if any snow does occur at all. Now, fast forwarding a few more hours ahead overnight, at 4 a.m., the precip really comes to an end from north to south. The front's pretty much through the entire area by daybreak tomorrow morning. And you can see the temperatures are dropping off close to freezing or even below freezing across far north Georgia. But at that point, the precip is going to be ending and over with. So other than maybe some residual black ice, concerns over bridges and overpasses, maybe some higher elevations, if there's any residual water or some very, very light accumulations that occur overnight, we're not expecting any major impacts with this system coming through late tonight or into tomorrow. just something to keep an eye on and be prepared for portions of extreme North Georgia. Now, rainfall amounts with this system coming through tonight into tomorrow, very light amounts. Again, we're not seeing a whole lot of moisture or forcing with the front itself. So generally, most areas are going to maybe lucky to see up to 1/10 of an inch of water, especially if you get south and east of like I-85. Some areas might not see any rainfall at all, maybe just a trace to a few hundredths of an inch. But again, talking about the northern areas, northern Gilmer, Fannin, Murray County, Towns, White County, you guys in the higher elevations, we don't expect any major impacts with any sort of transition to a wintry mix or rain-snow mix overnight tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. But be prepared for maybe a few patchy slick spots developing. Okay, moving ahead, the next system that's it's gonna tomorrow into tomorrow night. It's going to be cold tomorrow night into Saturday, and I'll show some temperatures here in just a minute. But the next system that's going to impact the area after tonight into early tomorrow morning is going to be Saturday night into Sunday. And this is where we get kind of that maybe pseudo wedge situation of some shallow cold air down the east side of the Appalachians spilling across parts of northeast Georgia. And we got this overrunning moisture, warmer, moist air coming in over the top of this cold dome. And that's going to set the stage for possibility of at the onset of precipitation of seeing some sleet possibly mixed in with some rain or even freezing rain if temperatures are at or below freezing when the precip moves in late Saturday night into early Sunday. So just something to watch. This area could be a little bit, I kind of drew in that blue area where we're kind of watching. That area, don't take that like for everything at the moment because that can certainly adjust. It could shrink. It could expand a little bit more to the south and west over the next 24 hours or so as we see some new information come to light. So temperatures late Saturday night into early Sunday morning as this next round of precip moves in, you can see most areas are going to be above freezing overnight Saturday night into early Sunday. When we expect the onset of precipitation to move in after midnight Saturday night, you can see there's a pocket in northeast Georgia where we could see some temperatures right around 32 degrees. And even if we're above 32, there still could be a little bit of sleet mixed in with the light rain. Again, this is not a major concern, but we just wanted to throw it out there for you so you're prepared for it up in those areas north of Gainesville, of course, up towards Lumpkin, White, Gilmer, Fannin, Towns County, Union County. You guys, you're in that typical wedge zone when we get this overrunning situation with the cold air kind of in place at the surface. So the good news is, and I'll show with the next slide, is that through the morning hours on Sunday and through the day, we do expect temperatures, if you're at or below freezing at the early part of the day on Sunday, we do expect by late morning, early afternoon, at this point, we should warm up into the upper 30s and 40s during the day on Sunday. So what you're seeing is high temperatures expected on Sunday on the left, and then on the right is the probability or chances of precipitation. So just about everybody is going to get wet. And this should be a pretty good rain event for us on Sunday into Sunday evening. And the next slide will show you our expected rainfall amounts for this second system coming in this weekend. Most of the area at this point, we're looking at anywhere from a half to maybe an inch of rain Saturday night into Sunday, late Saturday night through the day on Sunday. Most of the rain looks like it's going to be coming in during the day on Sunday at this point. For areas north of like a Rome to Canton to Gainesville line, we do expect some higher amounts of precipitation, possibly in order of 1 to 1.5 inches in spots. So pretty good rain. We'll keep an eye on that, again, with the wintry potential as we get closer to over the next day or so. Are you guys on the phone? Can you please mute your line? Thank you. Okay, so moving ahead, almost finished here. I did mention the drought conditions, and although we're kind of in the middle of winter right now, we haven't had a lot of real appreciable moisture or rain, measurable precipitation over the last few weeks. This has caused the D1 to D2 drought, moderate to severe drought conditions to sort of inch in from the west and south across parts of the state. So the parts of southwest Georgia, a lot of southwest Georgia is in what we call a D2 drought, severe drought. And even now, portions of northwest Georgia are starting to get into that severe drought category. So from about 2 weeks ago, this is a little bit different, especially across the northern and northwest portion of the state with respect to the drought monitor, drought outlook. Good news is over the next 7 to 10 days, it does look like we're going to get a period, like several periods of measurable precipitation, rainfall that may help kind of erode sort of the edges of the D1, D2 just a little bit. It's not going to wipe the slate clean, but hopefully that'll keep these areas that are in the D1, D2 drought from expanding. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I think we issued our drought statement today. It will be sent out at sent out at 11 o'clock this morning. So if you want some more details on the drought conditions, drought forecast, things like that, you can go on our webpage, and I think it's linked up on that on our page. Okay, real quickly, this is just a temperature trend over the next 5 days for Atlanta, Columbus, Rome, Athens, and Macon. Not to exclude anyone else, but we just wanted to show you kind of generally the coldest period looks like it's going to be Friday night and Saturday morning, behind the front coming through tonight into early tomorrow. Most areas should be at or below freezing. But generally speaking, our normal highs this time of year in the mid-50s, normal lows in the mid-30s. So we're really not, up above that or below that by very much. So kind of wanted to show that through next Tuesday, just the diurnal trend from high and low temperatures across a few select cities in our area. And then finally, this is, I wanted to show the 8 to 14 day outlook. This is for basically next week into the second week of February. On the left, you'll see the probability of seeing below normal precipitation is up a little bit from normal. So it looks like it'll be a cooler than usual and a drier than normal pattern setting up over the next couple weeks as we head into the first couple weeks of February. So what does that mean? I think we're going to continue to see like a series of low pressure systems and cold fronts move through that are kind of moisture starved, but kind of give us a reinforcing shot of colder, drier air through the first couple weeks of February. Does that mean we'll see like a significant snow or ice event? It doesn't look like it at this point, but we'll certainly have to monitor things over the next week to 10 days to see how things progress. So that's the outlook. And then finally, just a quick summary. Again, there's a couple of different events that are going to be impacting the area over the next few days. We're not expecting any widespread high impact weather, but we definitely want to monitor late tonight the transition, maybe a brief period of rain, snow, or light snow that develops across the far northern counties of Georgia. We're not expecting any major impacts. Any accumulations are probably going to be confined to the highest of elevations. And then with that secondary system coming in Saturday night into Sunday at the initial onset of precipitation, we could see a brief period again of rain mixed with some sleet or even some freezing rain mixed with sleet for any areas that see temperatures that are below 32 degrees Saturday night and early Sunday. So that is, we'll continue to monitor all that. And if we do any special briefings, we'll let you guys know. We don't have anything planned because it's really confined to a very small area of North Georgia at this point. But what we may do over the next couple of days is send out a couple of email updates on any impact weather that we're expecting through the weekend, so you guys are up to speed on what's happening. So with that, I appreciate everybody's time. Any questions, feel free. If you're on the Join Me app or the computer, just type it into that chat window. Otherwise, just give us a call. We'll be in NWS chat, as we always are, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So with that, I'll take any questions either through the chat window or through the phone. If nothing is heard or seen, have a great rest of the day and hope everybody has a great weekend.